I'm Kylie. Don't miss it, right here.
Oh, hey folks, this is Hacksaw Jim Duggan, and you're watching WGS-TV. Tough guy.
Welcome to another installment of WGS-TV right here on YouTube.com/WrestleGamer. It's me, Double B, Billy Boudreaux, and I'm going to be taking a look at Monday Night Raw this week with my good old-fashioned little, always honest reviews here on WGS-TV. Of course, we're going to have the fallout from WrestleMania, and quite surprisingly, you wouldn't think they would start out with it, but we started out with The Rock, and a really good segment with The Rock, coming out and saying, how he wants to thank, the people. He wants to thank guys like John Cena, and, he's really doing his best to try to put over, John Cena as best as he could, because apparently what they had is he was supposed to, John Cena was scheduled to come out and of course, call out The Rock. I'm going to give it to The Rock, even though it was a lousy WrestleMania match, he came out with a good promo to open up Monday Night Raw, so we're going to go ahead and give it a 3.5 out of 5, in my opinion. Then next up, this matchup was set up because, of Laurinaitis. Apparently, with Laurinaitis now being the man in charge of both Raw and SmackDown, he wants to give the people what they want, and he, in his opinion, the people wanted to see Santino Marella defend the United States title against Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder. Now, I want to say one thing about the Miami fans. What the hell is wrong with you? I don't know, maybe if the Miami fans, after The Rock won last night, went out and partied and got themselves stoned or wasted, but they were just out there. They were out there on Monday Night Raw this week. I don't know what in the world was that about, but as far as this match goes, it kind of looked like they were going to use this match to, one, turn Dolph Ziggler face, and two, break up the American Perfection faction, Dolph Ziggler and Zack Ryder. But it did not turn out that way. Santino retained the title in a very good triple threat match. 4 out of 5 in my opinion. Normally I don't go up that high with a matchup like this, but I thought it was really good. Next up, we had the debut of Lord Tensai, a.k.a. Giant Bernard, a.k.a. Prince Albert, a.k.a. A-Train, a.k.a. Guy with the freaking hairiest back ever, but he doesn't have that anymore as Lord Tensai. This was basically his debut match. He was going to go against Alex Riley, which I believe is a shame. Alex Riley loaded with potential. And what do they have him do? Job to the returning Lord Tensai. I say returning, it's the same guy. Saw a lot of familiar moves that we were accustomed to seeing when Lord Tensai was A-Train. A lot of the power moves, the aggressive moves. We even saw the derailer, that double choke slam into the power bomb. And they didn't. I don't think they actually acknowledged that, but the referee actually stopped the match because he deemed Alex Riley unable to continue. And next up, we see a new move debuted from Lord Tensai, the Claw. Vicious form of the Claw, but nonetheless, Tensai looked okay for the first time being back in in WWE in quite a while. He's been wrestling over in Japan. I don't know if this is necessarily his gimmick, because I know his gimmick over in Japan was Giant Bernard. So I don't know how long he's been running with the Lord Tensai gimmick, or if this is something brand new. 3 out of 5 for the 3 out of 5 for the debut for Lord Tensai, because again, he only showed one thing that was really new to the gimmick, something new that we the fans haven't seen from him before, whether it's been Prince Albert, A-Train, or whatever, Giant Bernard, or whatever, and that was the Claw. Everything else was just a rehash of basically, it was Lord Tensai reincarnating A-Train, and that's what he was doing. And You know, that was something we've seen already. You know, we were expecting to see something new out of Lord Tensai, and we only saw one thing new, and it was the claw. I was a little bit disappointed. I was a little bit disappointed. But yet, it's just week 1 of Lord Tensai's run in the WWE. The next up, we have a match that was set up because of CM Punk. Before Raw started, there was a big meeting with John Laurinaitis and all the Raw superstars, and CM Punk spoke out, called him a giant toolbox, which he is. In reality, in my opinion, he is a giant toolbox. And he set up the match. Apparently, he thought the people would want to see CM Punk defend the WWE Championship against the world's strongest man, Mark Henry. Very good match, but honestly, Mark Henry might have been okay as the World Heavyweight Champion, but I believe the WWE title is at a different status in the company. You know, that's saying that you are the guy in the company, that the WWE and everybody in the back trust you to take the company on your shoulders and carry the company to higher grounds. Now, they trust CM Punk to do that, but I doubt it. I seriously doubted that they were going to trust Mark Henry, because Mark Henry is just not at that level that he needs to be WWE Champion. He can be a World Heavyweight Champion, but WWE Champion is totally a different story. But Mark Henry does end up getting the win by a countout. Now, we're thinking that Studlyman Ashley was on Skype with me during Monday Night Raw, and we were both thinking that possibly, you know, we seeing a storyline forming between CM Punk and Mark Henry, and Ashley, you know, he adamantly disagreed with the move. He didn't think it would make any sense with Mark Henry and CM Punk. But then we get the Shining Beacon. You know, just when we think the CM Punk Chris Jericho feud was going to culminate at WrestleMania, it's going to continue. It's going to continue. Couple of things we do need to note. Now, he said he was going to make Punk drink, and in a sense, he did. He had a couple of bottles. Well, they were labeled Jack Daniels, but you know, it's probably water. But first bottle he poured all over CM Punk. Then he went to kick him, and that's where we, you know, if I still had WGS Radio on the air, that would be an epic fail of the week, because Jericho went to kick him, and he ends up slipping and falling on his ass right next to Punk. But he immediately recovered from that, went to beat down, and then he got up and got another bottle, and this time instead of pouring it, he takes it and breaks it over the head of CM Punk. So we're really going to see a a continuation rather, I mean, between Chris Jericho and CM Punk, and I think that's really, really good. So I'm going to combine the Mark Henry CM Punk match with the post-match activities involving Chris Jericho. I'm going to go ahead and give it a 4.5 out of 5. Match-wise, I would thought it was decent. You know, it's not very often I say that about Mark Henry, but CM Punk really did his best to kind of carry the match in a sense. And then, of course, you know, the fact that now we're going to have CM Punk and Chris Jericho continue the feud instead of having it end at WrestleMania, I think that was a good move. Because, you know, what was the point of bringing Chris Jericho back just to have him lose at WrestleMania and have the feud end at WrestleMania? Wouldn't have been any point. Wouldn't have made any sense. Then we had a segment with Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio. Now, Miami fans, were you guys just drunk or high to not recognize the proper statuses between these two guys? You boo. You've been cheering for Daniel Bryan all night when he's been heel the past few months, and he's been going after the fans. And Sheamus has been face for quite some time, and he's been doing a remarkably good job as a face. So I still just don't understand why, Miami fans, that you would choose to idolize Daniel Bryan and boo the crap out of Sheamus. And then you also cheered Alberto Del Rio, who technically is still a heel. I just wanted to say that to you, Miami fans. It's no offense. I'm not insulting your intelligence. Well, maybe in a sense I am, but it's not meant to be personal. But you need to learn the proper statuses because you made us, we other wrestling fans, look incredibly dumb. You made we wrestling fans look incredibly dumb by your behavior on Monday Night Raw. Now, albeit we all have the freedom to do what we want, but still, you got to remember you're representing the WWE Universe and wrestling fans, and you were not up to par. I'm sorry to say that, but that's my honest opinions about it. But now back to Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio. Apparently, they're trying to move on between Sheamus and Daniel Bryan, and apparently we're going to have a match Friday night on SmackDown between Sheamus and Alberto Del Rio, and Laurinaitis has decreed that if Del Rio beats Sheamus, then Alberto Del Rio will become the new #1 contender. Next, really great segment. It's barring the fans who in Miami were apparently probably still stoned from the fact that The Rock beat John Cena at WrestleMania. I thought it was an okay segment. It was good to see Del Rio back. He didn't look like he was suffering any ill effects from his groin tear. He looked like he was going to be in pretty good shape. So I'm pretty anxious to see how he pans out with his first match being back since I think December. Close to the end of December, he has been out with the groin tear. So I'm going to be pretty anxious to see, physically how he stands up after being out for so long, because this is probably, with him being in the WWE, his first real injury for him to come back from. And I want to see how he does it. Now, on the microphone, on his promo, he hasn't missed a beat. He has not missed a beat. So physically, could be another story. So that's what I'm going to be looking forward to seeing out of him against such a high caliber opponent in Sheamus, and especially with his #1 contendership for the World Heavyweight title on the line for that as well. So the segment, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. It would be a 4.5 or nearly a 5 out of 5 if it wasn't for the ignorance of the fans. Next up, we had Kofi Kingston and Cody Rhodes. Now, what they used in this, apparently, it was their way to let Big Show get back at Cody Rhodes. Now, the whole build to Big Show and Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania we saw was the fact that Cody Rhodes was using, embarrassing WrestleMania moments from the Big Show. So now they turned the tide, and now Big Show came out and embarrassed Cody Rhodes because Cody Rhodes lost the Intercontinental title to Big Show at WrestleMania. And of course, I just knew what was going to happen next. Cody Rhodes was completely distracted. So what has happened? What happens next? Kofi Kingston hits the Trouble in Paradise and gets the win over Cody Rhodes. For being so predictable, 3 out of 5. That match wasn't bad, wasn't that good, but with it being so predictable, it's got to go 3 out of 5. Next segment is Eve Torres talking about why, how she likes to manipulate people, but she can't manipulate powerful people like John Laurinaitis. I really did not see the point to this segment at all. It made absolutely no sense whatsoever. I think maybe WWE just, decided, hey, we got some time to fill and we need to do something with it. So they give the microphone to Eve Torres and say, hey, go wing it. And that's pretty much what it looked like she did. 1 out of 5. There was no point to the segment. It made absolutely no sense to any storyline whatsoever. 1 out of 5. The next matchup was, something that was probably going to take place because of what happened between Team Teddy and Team Johnny at WrestleMania. It was Zack Ryder taking on The Miz. Zack Ryder attempting to gain vengeance over the fact that he was the one who was pinned in the match to gain the victory for Team Johnny, and Miz apparently just wants to be The Miz and whatnot, and it looked like it was going to go that way. Zack Ryder and Miz for the finale match looked really well. Miz ends up getting the win over Zack Ryder. He's on the skull-crushing finale. Miz is probably starting to gain in favor with the guys backstage. You know, for the longest time, he was on a losing streak, and up until WrestleMania, you know, when he got his first win in quite some time, probably since Survivor Series. That Miz has been on a losing streak, and now they finally give him a win at WrestleMania, and he's finally got a singles win on Monday Night Raw against Zack Ryder. I'm really impressed with both guys. I really hope they develop a rivalry between Miz and Zack Ryder, because it has the makings. It has the potential to be a good rivalry between these two guys. I hope WWE looks into that. I really do. 4 out of 5 for the match. 4 out of 5 for the match. And again, I don't know if you guys agree with me or not, but it does have the potential to be a really good rivalry between these two. Then finally, we had John Cena, and you know, this wasn't the John Cena we're used to. You know, he was, you know, very somber, very focused. You know, he just went straight down to the ring. He didn't sprint like usual. You know, of course, he's depressed because of the fact he lost, but you know, he's making a statement that, you know, he needs to overcome adversity, overcome defeat, and you know, show how he could come back from it. And he wanted to, you know, call out The Rock to bring him out there so he can actually congratulate him for his win at WrestleMania. Miami fans, we want Lesnar. We want Lesnar. Here comes Brock Lesnar. Miami fans, I am so embarrassed of you guys right now. You ruined Monday Night Raw. I'm pretty sure Brock Lesnar was supposed to be the shock moment of the night. Was supposed to be a real shocker. And you blew it. I don't know why, what was wrong with Miami fans. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. So, you know, I really don't know what else to say. I really don't know what else to say. I can really understand the use of Brock Lesnar in this segment. For those of you who don't remember, at the start of the Doctor of the Thugonomics gimmick, you know, it was a feud going with Lesnar and Cena. Lesnar had took out Cena and he was injured, and of course he did several vignettes with John Cena, you know, saying that, you know, Lesnar had the F5 and was going to call what we now call the AA, the FU, and WWE just let the feud die without any ending to it whatsoever. So I'm thinking they're probably going to be using Lesnar for that. You know, we all know Lesnar signed a 1-year deal with the WWE. So it stands to believe, it stands to reason that they would use this to possibly pick up the feud, you know, between Cena and Lesnar. You know, we all wanted to see the culmination of the feud, and we never got to see it. And so WWE might be giving us the opportunity to see it. Finally see Cena and Lesnar. But again, it only stands to reason. You know, I'm just speculating. I don't have any spoilers or anything like that. You know, again, you know me, guys. I never spoil anything. I hate spoilers. So I'm just going by speculation. By speculation that we could be possibly seeing, you know, finally. And I want to think it was around 2002, maybe 2002, 2003, when they started trying to do this with Cena and Lesnar. So we're thinking, you know, about an 8 to 9 year gap since this whole thing started. So pretty interesting to see where they're going to go with it. Now, despite the fans being idiotic in Miami on Monday Night Raw, I'm ashamed to say it, but again, that's how I honestly feel they behaved, idiotically. I'm going to go ahead and give the finale of Monday Night Raw 4 out of 5. Good to see Lesnar back. I'm good to see that he didn't change his entrance music. And, you know, we all wanted to see Cena and Lesnar pick up their rivalry. Let me just say this. I hope to God that they're not going to, next week they're going to announce WrestleMania 29, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar. Because You know, we already had a matchup with Cena and The Rock, a match that's already had a 1-year build, and it failed miserably. We don't need another one like that. We don't want to. I don't want to hear an announcement on next week's Monday Night Raw, John Cena versus Brock Lesnar, WrestleMania 29, because I'm going to go over to Stamford, Connecticut with a giant baseball bat and start beating whoever came up with the idea right in the head. What in the hell is wrong with you for making that? Matches should have maybe a 2 to 3 month build, but not a year. Not a year. We already seen the results of that with Cena and Rock at WrestleMania. They did not live up to the hype. So that's my take on Monday Night Raw this week, guys. What I want to know is what do you, the WGS-TV viewers and subscribers, have to say about Monday Night Raw this week? You know the 2 ways to do it. Leave your comments in the comment section below or in the video response with your thoughts on Monday Night Raw. Don't forget to like and favorite this video. And don't forget, if you haven't yet, please subscribe to youtube.com/WrestleGamer. So with that being said, I'm Double B Billy Boudreaux saying thank you very much for watching.